Hi everybody, we're going to work on our Unit 8 end of unit study guide. So the first question is going to be a statistical question. Which group of students would be best to survey to determine which new books should be purchased for the school library? All the kids in the Battle of the Book Club, 4 people sitting at a table in the library, every 8th person who walks into school, or every 5th person in the 7th grade. I should say in the 7th grade. So when you're thinking about this, you're thinking you want to make sure that everybody is able to go and everybody is able to be included. So if it's only one club, that doesn't include any other students. So it knocks out any kid that's not on the Battle of the Books Club. 4 people sitting at the school library, well, that sample size is really, really small. So that wouldn't be good. Every 5th person on the 7th grade hall, that eliminates 6th and 8th grade from having a voice or choice in the decision for the books. So C would be the best one. Every 8th person who walks into the school. Because yes, that includes adults, because that could be parents, that could be community members, that could be staff, but it gives everybody the opportunity to be selected. Ms. Scarfpin's class wants to determine the student's favorite sport offered at the school, which would be the best sample to best represent this population, asking Ms. Scarfpin's class only. Well, that leaves out every other class. Asking all the girls in the entire school. Well, that leaves out all the boys. Asking every 5th student who is on a sports team. Well, what about all the kids that are not on sports teams? Or maybe you're playing rec ball or something else, okay? Even though it's offered at the school, if you're thinking about in the future offerings or anything else, so that might be right. Asking every 5th student on the 7th grade hallway. Well, that includes everybody. That doesn't include 6th or 8th grade, but it gives a look at all the students in one grade level, boys, girls, kids that are on sports teams, kids that are not. So this is where it comes down to which is the best. So it would be D in this case. All right, there are 250 freshmen at Ridley High. The guidance counselor conducted a survey of a random sample of 25 freshmen to find out what their favorite classes were, and he recorded the data below. True or false, more freshmen have no favorite class than students who like social studies best. Well, even though I only have a sample, it's already 6 is statistically higher than 2, and no favorite has a 6, and social studies is a 2. So this would be true. Question 4. For a music appreciation class, a JS surveyed the students at 2 local colleges to determine their favorite kind of music. The results are shown in the table below. True or false, classical is the least favorite musical choice of the college students. Well, if you're looking at it, you're comparing males to females, and of the college students, we're including both. So that's 28. If you add these together, it's also 28. So it's not the least favorite because pop and classical, they are equal. So this would be false. Okay, what is the interquartile range of the data below? So this goes into box and whisker plots. So the first thing you need to do is list out your data. So you have 80, 82, 83. I'm going to have 2 84s, 2 85s, 2 86s, an 87, and an 88. So my first step is to find the median. So I cross off on either end And I'm just going to double check my dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yep, I have the right number of numbers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers before the circle, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers after the circle. So I know 85 is the median, but that's not going to give me my interquartile range. Then I have to find the median of the lower half of the data. 2 numbers in front of the circle, 2 numbers behind the circle. Good to go, because it's equally divided. So 83 is quartile 1. '86 is quartile 2. So I'm going to do 86 minus 83, because it's Q3 minus Q1, which is 3. What is the minimum of the data? So in this case, I've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm looking at days of the week. But the minimum would be the smallest number there, which would be 2. So the minimum of the data here is 2. What is the median of class 2? Well, the first thing I have to do is put those numbers in order from least to greatest. I get 88. What is the interquartile range if the first quartile is 68 and the third quartile is 72.5? Well, they're getting that information from either side of the box. So I know I'm doing 72.5 minus 68, because range tells me to subtract, and interquartile range means Q3 minus Q1. So I get 3.5. All right, who has lower grades and who is less consistent with their grades? So this is talking about further this way on the number line. And has a larger spread or has a larger range or more variability. So all of those words mean the same thing. So when I'm looking at it, who has lower grades? Well, that would be Jim, because his minimum is looking at, like a 71, and his maximum is a 90. Whereas Sarah's, her lowest grade is an 86, her highest grade is 100. And then who has less consistent grades, meaning that the grades are not together, they're further apart, so they have a bigger range. Well, Jim has the larger range, so that would be Jim. And I find the range by subtracting my maximum and my minimum. All right, what is the difference between the upper quartile of group 1 and the upper quartile of group 2? So that's 6 and 11. So we're going to do 11 minus 6, because mathematical difference tells me to subtract. I get 5. What is the interquartile range of John's Pizzeria? So we're talking about this data right here. First thing I need to do is put those numbers in order from least to greatest. So I have 16, 20, 23, 30, 35, and 51. Then I'm going to cross out on either end. I have two numbers in the middle, so I have to add them and divide by 2. So that's 23 plus 30 divided by 2. So 26.5. So now we're looking at that half of the data and this half of the data. Notice I include 23 in the lower quartile box, or the lower half of the data, because it's less than the median, and I include 30 in the upper quartile because I have to have 3 numbers on each side. The same number of numbers need to be in each box. So I get 35 and 20. So I'm going to do 35 minus 20, and I get 15. Because interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. What is the interquartile range of the data? So we're looking right here at the two sides of the box. So that's 125 minus 75, and I get 50. So 50 minutes. What is the range of the data, or the variability? Well, range is subtracting the maximum and the minimum. So that's 5 minus 1, so the range would be 4. What is the mean number of books read last summer? Okay, well, I know that I have 4 zeros, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones, and then 2, 4, 6 for the 2 books, 3, 8, because 2 times 4 is 8, 5, 7, 8, and 9. So I'm going to add those numbers up. And I get 52. Then I'm going to divide by the number of dots. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm going to divide by 20. And I get 2.6. So that's my mean. Okay? You have to divide by the number of dots, not by the number of numbers I have at the bottom. What is the mean absolute deviation of class 2? So order doesn't matter. So my first step is to add those numbers and divide by how many numbers I have. So I get 58 divided by 5. I get 11.6. Then I find the deviations, or the difference between all of them. And it's always going to be positive. Because we're talking about absolute value here. Then I'm going to add these numbers up and find the mean of them, because the mean absolute deviation is the average distance the numbers are away from each other. and I get 19.6. I'm going to divide that by 5 because I have 5 numbers in my data set. And I get 3.92. I'm going to need to fix that on the answer key. All right, and then for the last one, what is the difference between the mean absolute deviations between the pizza place and John's Pizzeria? So again, I'm going to take these numbers and I'm going to find the mean absolute deviation. So it doesn't matter the order. It matters how far the numbers are apart. So I have 25, 17, 21, 26, 31, 45. I'm going to add those numbers up and divide by how many numbers I have. I get 162 and I'm dividing by 6. I get 27. I'm going to double check it just to make sure I'm right. I'm going to divide by 6, 27.5. So I got 2 different answers. So that means I need to do it again to figure out what I did wrong. All right, I got 27.5 twice, so I know that's right. All right, then I'm going to find all the deviations, so I'm going to subtract. Now I'm going to add these numbers up and divide by how many numbers I have. I get 32 divided by 6. I get 5.3 repeating. All right, then I'm going to do the second one. I'm going to add those numbers up. I'm going to divide by 6. And I get 29.16. So I'm going to round that to 29.2. All right, so I get 9.2. 13.2, 6.2, 0.8, 5.8, 'So now I'm going to add those numbers up and divide by how many numbers I have. I get 57 divided by 6. I get 9.5. So now they want to know the difference between the two. So I'm going to do 9.5 minus 5.3 repeating. So and I get 4.16. So 4.16 or 4.17. All right, if you have any questions or you're not sure, let me know.